3000.
This is really neat. It's like I'm actually on the ride. Whee! Time. The ever-flowing river. This is so cool. This is like I'm actually there. I can see everyone around me on the boat. Mum? No way. What was she doing there? Anyway, I'm going to have to finish that later. Hey folks, welcome back to the Terradome. This week in the mail pod I got sent this really cool VR headset that links up to the Jurassic Park ride in Florida. It's a really decent piece of kit. But anyway, I'll enjoy that later. I've got so much more mail to get through. What do we have here? Let's have a little look-see. What does it say? Wow. It says here they were going to do a cartoon series based on the Chaos Effect toy line back in 1997 for the Lost World Jurassic Park. It unfortunately got cancelled. However, enclosed in this mail pod is some concept art for what was going to be in the cartoon series. Wow, that's really cool. Can't wait to see that. Ooh. There it is. The Jurassic Park Chaos Effect concepts. Now I've never seen these before, so you're gonna get my initial reaction right here. So let's see what they're all about. Wow. Very 90s looking. This guy looks like he could be straight out of The New Adventures of Johnny Quest or something. Yeah, I don't know if he's meant to be a good guy or a bad guy. Or is this meant to be Ian Malcolm? Or Nick Van Owen? I don't know. Oh, look at this lady. She looks like she means business. I like her backpack. That looks really cool. I'm not so keen on her Super Soaker looking gun, but I mean it fits the style, I guess. Oh wow. Look at this guy with his cocky grin and his little flap cap. He looks very 90s. He's got a shield on his arm and looks like he's got robot legs or some sort of power armor on, and I don't quite know what this thing is on his shoulder, but yeah, looks like he could be out of Mighty Max or something. Oh wow, look at her. She looks serious. Looks like she's wearing some sort of camo and she's got some night vision goggles on or something. Yeah, looks like she definitely has a mission that she's on. Interesting. Whoa, look at this. This looks like something out of Armored Core or something. This doesn't look like Jurassic Park at all, but I like it. Had this been in a cartoon, that would have been so kick-ass. Love this fin thing coming off the back. What is this meant to be? Some sort of like dino grappling power loader suit or something? Wow, that is neat. Yeah, I really like that idea. And what the fuck? This guy has a gun coming out of his elbow. A gun coming out of his elbow. It looks like it could go into his elbow when his arm goes back down, but the magazine looks like it stays out. What the hell? How would that even work? Why doesn't he just hold the gun? What's wrong with just holding the gun? Why is it there? Why doesn't it come out of his knees or his chest or his head? Why doesn't his head just pop off and a gun come out? He has a gun coming out of his elbow and a magazine coming out of his arm. He's a gun elbow. It's a gun elbow. He has a gun coming out of his elbow. It's Gun Elbow. That should be that character's name. Gun Elbow. Hi, my name is Gun Elbow. Oh my word. It's not that bad, the rest of it. He's competently drawn, he looks badass, but then, he just has a gun coming out of his elbow. This is the most ludicrous thing I think I've seen in the Jurassic Park franchise yet. This is the stupidest idea I have ever seen. This is absolutely crazy. How would this even work? Would he have to sit there like this? Does he have two? Does he sit there going like this? How does this concept work? That's got me thinking. I used to think a lot of things in the Jurassic Park franchise were crazy to begin with. And then ideas changed. It's a really interesting concept. Yeah. The ideas behind how crazy the Jurassic Park franchise can get has always been something that's really interested me. When I was a kid, I collected the Lost World Jurassic Park toys, and I remember loving everything about them, how screen accurate some of them were and all that sort of stuff. But then they announced the toy line called the Chaos Effect, and I remember at the time really hating this idea of hybridization of dinosaurs, mixing their DNA, which is what the whole Chaos Effect toy line was centered around. The dinosaurs had really outlandish colors, vivid stripes, the characters were all really over the top and crazy weapons. And yeah, when I was younger, I really didn't like it. I thought it was not Jurassic Parky enough, which was a term I used to use all the time. Now I really like that concept. I actually own the Alpha Raptor from that toy line, which I really like the colours on that. It's really aesthetically pleasing. But yeah, so now it doesn't bother me. But at the time it really did. It's interesting the levels of craziness in Jurassic Park, like what can they get away with in the films compared to what they can get in the extended universe or comics or whatever, expanded media. I think that as it stands, and I think a lot of you will agree with me, that the films have a certain level of craziness that they can reach, but it's always being challenged, and the expanded universe can do whatever it wants. I mean, it goes absolutely mad. But yeah, in the films, the concepts of like how the level of craziness they push is always being challenged. I mean, with hybrid dinosaurs, they've technically been around since the original film, with the frog DNA being introduced to the raptors, and they're splicing different DNA together. But a lot of people don't like that idea because they're dinosaurs. I would say, yeah, they're a version of dinosaurs. The Jurassic Park dinosaurs are kind of like a little window into 65 million years ago. As Ian Malcolm says in the book, you cannot recall, I think he says something like, you cannot recall something that is extinct. And so it will never be the same as which is the very concept of Jurassic Park. You bring something back, it's not going to be the same, and that's where chaos takes effect. So the idea of hybrids in Jurassic Park was something that, as I mentioned, I didn't like as a kid, but then as I got older, I started to realise that this is actually the very core theme of Jurassic Park is that you cannot control this. And the idea of mixing dinosaurs together is an awesome idea in itself, and also it's very concept heavy. So when Jurassic World came along and the Indominus Rex was going to be the front and center, I was very excited at the time about seeing what it was going to be like. And as many of you know, I absolutely love it. I think it's I'm with Jack Horner. I think it's the most realistic looking dinosaur they've ever put to screen in the Jurassic franchise, based on the ideas behind. In the real world that we live in, the hybridization of animals is a very real thing. I mean, you get ligers, which is a tiger and a lion mixed together, and you get different genetic hybrids of animals. You compare that to the cloning of dinosaurs. Cloning of dinosaurs is impossible at this current time. And so technically hybrids are more realistic and not as crazy as actually cloning dinosaurs. So, in order for people to understand the Indominus, you did need to have three films before that dealt with different areas of how humans and dinosaurs were coexisting, and how they brought them back from the dead and all that sort of stuff. So the idea of craziness in the Jurassic Park movies has to be sold to you, via what you see. This always reminds me of an interview with Steven Spielberg back during the production of Jaws, where he talked about the changing of the ending. where in the original book, the shark and Quint were going to get tangled up in a net, if I remember correctly, and then drown. And I think that was originally going to be the ending of the film. But Spielberg mentioned that he changed the ending because he believed he could make the shark jump on the boat and land on it, and the audience would believe it because he had their attention in the palm of his hand for an hour and 40 minutes. And so he could sell the imagery of a shark jumping onto a boat and make it believable based on what had happened previously in the film. And that's what I think applies to Jurassic World when you think of the Owen riding alongside the Raptors as one example. You know, other people would say that John Sayles' Jurassic Park 4 script was pretty crazy, with the idea of human-dinosaur hybrids and all that. My personal opinion on it is the concepts that came out for that script previously are just batshit insane. They would work, I think, for like a cartoon spin-off or something, but not in a Jurassic movie. However, the actual idea behind a human dinosaur hybrid is something that I think could work in a movie if it was done correctly, or cleverly, should I say. So like, by that I mean they could find like the dead corpse of a failed experiment where they actually tried to introduce human DNA but it just never took off. That would be a kind of creepy way of doing it, I think. You just see this hideous malformed beast that's just like dead on the table. That would sort of get right under my skin, I think. But you know, that if they ever introduce that, then that's the way I think they should do it. But yeah, I don't think, you know, seeing a dinosaur with a gun for an arm, for example, is exactly what the Jurassic franchise needs in terms of films. But anyway, in summary, I think that the Jurassic Park films are always going to challenge the level of craziness that they bring onto the table, but they do it in a very smart way. I don't think they're just going to throw something in your face and hope that you accept it as part of the lore. I think whenever they've introduced something crazy, they have done it with a decent amount of context to sell you the imagery that you're seeing. The expanded universe stuff has always been batshit crazy, so I think that's just going to remain. And if you're working on fan fiction of Jurassic Park and you have an idea that you are worried that people might think it's crazy, that's the reason you should do it, because there should be no limit to imagination. I think, and even when it comes to the Jurassic Park movies, as I've spoken about earlier on in this video, there's concepts that I've learned to appreciate and actually accept into the world building of Jurassic Park, which I didn't previously, based on the fact of how it's sold to me. And I think that is it. Context is key. You know, you can say something crazy and it would be deemed so until you see the reasons for why you're seeing it, and that's mainly to the films, not so much the comic books and stuff, because as I've said, they do whatever they like. But anyway, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and yeah, look forward to more in the future. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you like this video, please leave a like and comment below. What do you think is the craziest moment in the Jurassic Park film series or comics or anything? What is the craziest moment for you? Mine, as I've mentioned, is Eric Kirby surviving on the island for 8 weeks. Anyway, have a good day, guys.